Hello kitties, so today we are going to do another episode of This Is Not a Tech Review. And we're going to be reviewing the Alpha 6000. That's the Sony Alpha a6000, which came out in 2014. So the question that we're going to answer today is it still a good buy in 2022? Well, let's find out. First, let me just give you a brief overview of the camera. It's an Alpha a6000, which is the first generation of the a6000 series. It's an APS-C size sensor, and since then these cameras have been replaced. This one in particular with the 6100, the 63 was replaced with the 6400, and the 6500 was replaced with the 6600, which is not news to you. So I'm not going to get too much into the details. So what makes this camera special? Well, I think the first thing that makes this camera special is the compact size. As you can see, this is great for travel. It's a beautiful walk-around lens and camera that is easy to carry and easy to shoot with, really. It also has great autofocus, both for photography and video, which is great, especially in a camera of this price point. All right, so let's get into the features and the specs. First of all, you can once again see that it's super compact. It also has a slide-up screen, which is great for shooting, especially if you're shooting low angles. Obviously, it doesn't tilt up, so it's not great for vlogging, but it does have some flexibility for other types of shooting. It has a 24.3 megapixel sensor, means that you get some nice high quality photos. And you can see here, I'll take it off, that it is in fact an APS-C sensor. And another feature is the video. Now it shoots great video, by great I mean 1080p video, and it's good because you not only get the usual 30 and 24 frames per second, but you can also use 60 frames per second when you're shooting in 1080p video, which is as high as it'll go. Obviously it'll shoot 720, but 1080 is as high as it will go. It's also going to be able to shoot up to 11 frames per second, so that's always a good thing. It also has, and I think we can consider this a feature, it has a micro HDMI out connection, which offers clean HDMI out, which means it's great for streamers. So if you're streaming, you can hook this baby up and it'll give you what you need as far as video is concerned. Now, it doesn't have any input for external mics, so we can consider that a negative. But again, for the price point, I think that most of the users will not be connecting external mics to this. And I would say the other negative is that it doesn't have IBIS, so you have to rely heavily on the lenses. For example, this kit lens has optical steady shot, or OSS. However, that said, there's a few accessories that you can get for this that are worth the price. For example, if you want to step up your game as far as lenses go, I think this is a nice lens to buy, which is the Sony 18 to 135 millimeter zoom lens. You get this right now for about between $400 and $500. If you buy it new, obviously it's going to be $500 or above, but you can get this used for about $400. The other one that I highly recommend is a prime lens. Now, obviously a lot of people recommend the Sigma 16mm, but I personally prefer the Sony 35 millimeter, which is a f1.8, which is the one I have here. Now this one again is going to be about $400, but I think it's worth the money that you paid. You get super sharp images with this lens, which is great. And I have to say that I find myself using it over and over again for all types of situations. So highly recommend this one. Now, another thing that I bought for it is a cage. Now, the small rig cage, which is what I have here, is a great addition to the camera because it allows you to hook all kinds of crazy things to the camera. So as you can see, I bought it with a wooden handle and it looks great. And the other thing I want to recommend is this handle. Again, this is a camera that does not have, it's not stabilized. So if you add this handle to the cage, it gives you some extra leverage on the camera, and it reduces the micro jitters, which is what you get when you are hand holding a camera that's not stabilized. All right, now let's talk turkey. Now the price of this camera as of now is that it comes bundled with the lens, once again with the kit lens. It goes for about $698, $700 if you round it off. You can buy it used, however, and you can definitely save some money there. So why did I pick this camera? Well, as I said in the beginning, this was an anniversary gift from my wife, and I have to say that as soon as I got it and started playing with it, I was hooked. I was hooked from day one. I really got into photography, I got into video, and I owe it all to this little system. So definitely not going to knock it. I think it's a great system, especially if you want to start in photography and video, but I'll talk about that in a bit. Then the other thing I want to mention is that this is a great walk-around camera. It's great to travel with. I mean, it fits anywhere. You can put it in your backpack, you can put it in your small bag, whatever you carry, or you can just carry it in your hand. I mean, it's just so small and compact that it's very, very convenient to just have it around. Another great thing is that it's got interchangeable lenses, so it's very flexible. You can definitely use pancake style lenses to make it very compact, or you can stick one of the big ones in here. And the great thing about the Sony E-mount lenses is that you have a lot to choose from. You have lenses that you can choose from Sony, but you can also use and buy third-party lenses like Sigma and Tamron and Samyang. There's a lot of choices out there for this type of camera system. All right, so how does this camera compare to other systems out there? Because that is the question, right? It's about what choices do we have. The first has to do with pricing. Like I mentioned before, this is going to run you about $700 if you buy the bundle. I'm talking about the camera and the lens kit together, which is probably all that you are able to buy at this time. But you do have to pay $700 for it. If you are looking for the body only, it used to run for $550, but now they're hard to find. However, if you buy the newest model, which is the 6100, that'll run you for about $850. So as you can see, for about $150 more, you get a more modern camera with the 6100. Now that means that you have on the 6100 a external mic input that you can hook up to it. It's got 4K recording. It's got no recording limit, whereas this one has a 30-minute recording limit. So if that's important to you, it's important for you to consider it as well. Now, another choice from Sony is the Sony ZV-1, which is a very popular vlogging system. It has a built-in size 24 to 70 millimeter lens, which is not interchangeable. So it's basically the lens, what you get is what you get. You can't really interchange it like you can on this system, but it takes beautiful video and beautiful pictures, 4K as well, so it's worth considering. For $748, that's $50 more than this system. You can get the ZV-1 if you're into vlogging especially. And then from other vendors, you have the Canon. For example, the Canon M50 Mark II. It goes for about $700, and it includes a 15 to 45 mil kit lens. Again, it's a little bit more modern, but you'd have to consider if you want to get into the Canon system instead of Sony. So finally, let's talk about who is this camera for. So if you're new into photography, you just want to get into it, you want to do a little video, a little photography, maybe you're a dad and you want to take some family pictures, you want to go on vacation, you want to travel, you want to take a very compact system. So this obviously is a good camera to buy, even in 2022. Also, if you're a streamer, this is great for streaming because, as I mentioned, it's got the HDMI, clean HDMI out. You can hook it up, and there you have no recording limit because it's just hooked up to your computer. So not much to do there, and you get some good quality video, especially if you put a good lens on it. So it's definitely a good camera for streamers. All right, so for whom is this not ideal? Well, if you are ready to take the next step because you already have a system and you want to upgrade, you're not going to be upgrading to an Alpha 6000. So definitely forget that idea. Also, if you want to try out Sony, you come from Canon and other systems, don't get this one. Get a more modern camera because you're going to be, wondering why you switched. And obviously you are switching to an older model. So that's not a good deal. So is it worth it in 2022? Probably not, but it's up to you. Anyway, I hope this review was helpful. Again, this is not a tech review. This is just my review. And I hope that you liked it. We'll see you next time.